Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So something a little bit different on today's video. We're going to be making a terrarium. So if you're not sure what a terrarium is, it's basically an enclosed micro ecosystem. So my terrarium's going to be sort of a whole living ecosystem. So I'm going to put some insects in there as well. So what I'm on the lookout for is isopods, which will eat decaying matter. Um, Isopods are like woodlice, millipedes, stuff like that. They all eat decaying plant matter, organic material. And what I want to do as well is put a predator species in there, just to keep the population under control so that it doesn't get completely overrun with woodlice or millipedes. So I'm on the lookout for some centipedes as well because they will eat young woodlice. Just to see how it goes. I've never done this before. This is my first ever terrarium setup, and I'm doing it 100% native. I'm not going to go buy anything. Except for that tub, which cost me £3-4, I think. But you can just use a jam jar, a big sort of pickle jar, or as long as it's got a sealable lid, preferably glass, but that one's plastic, so we'll see how it goes. It should still work fine. Stay tuned, and I'll make a start on that, and we'll have a look around, see what we can find. Okay, so we're on this little wooded area at the end of our garden. And this would be an ideal place to find moss and all the organic matter and bugs and stuff for our terrarium. So the first thing I'm on the lookout for is some bigger rocks. There's a nice piece of quartz there, so that'll be ideal. We'll put that in our tub. Okay, so there's a few more bits of rock here, some limestone or something. So we'll collect these up. Nice little flat one there. Might even find some fossils on these. Looks a bit like a fossilised shell. So we don't need too many, we just want enough for a layer on the bottom. Okay, so we're almost done collecting rocks now. That one might be a bit big, but we'll take it. Should go in there. Okay, so I've just come across this bit which has been dug up by the animals. So now I'm just collecting some little stones, pebbly bits. As long as they're smaller than the other stuff so that they can settle in between all the gaps and stuff. Otherwise the soil will just wash straight through. Okay, so that's all my little stones collected. So we'll put the lid back on there. So we've got small stones and bigger stones. Next thing I'm going to do is get some soil from somewhere and some sort of organic material. So dig under the leaves. This is what we're after, this nice soil under here. All sorts of organisms and life in there. So we'll go to a few different places to get it. So we've got a mixture of different things in there. So I'll go get some more soil from some other places, and then we'll start collecting some plant life. Just spotted a little bit of ivy there, so that'll be ideal. Grass there, and an acorn shell. Okay, so I'm almost done getting the soil layer for the terrarium. So I'm just digging down and getting all this sort of leaf mouldy stuff. This will be full of life. I've always seen some things wriggling around in there, nematodes and little worms and all sorts. So it's just a case of scraping some of this up. We don't want too many big sticks at the moment, but it doesn't matter if there's a few bits of rotten stuff in there. It'll all break down and feed the isopods and anything else that's living in there. You'll find the most things that are living in here. They'll be living there because they eat decaying matter. So hopefully that should be enough. Okay, so I've got another tub. Now I'm looking for bits of rotten mud, some moss, a couple of little plants or something to go in there. Anything else I see which catches my eye, which I think might look nice in there. I did see some acorn caps. Probably won't be able to see any now. There's one there, look. So they always look quite nice. Adds to the character. And eventually they will break down. So we'll take a few of them. I saw a little cone from the larch tree somewhere as well. There you go. So you'll find that there'll be all sorts in that. It's already decomposing, so that can go in there. Nice rotten branch there. We don't need the whole thing. We can snap off a few bits of that. There's a wasp gall. We don't want that in there particularly. Or is that hazelnut? I think that might be a hazelnut. We could put it in there because it might have something living in it. It's obviously not going to grow because it's been eaten, but that'll go in there. A nice little stick there. I won't break that one because it's quite a nice shape. That might look quite good in there somewhere. So, keep looking around. Where did that little ivy go that I saw? Yeah, that might be ideal if I can find it again. There it is. So we're going to try and get this out with a bit of root, but ivy will grow from just a bit of stem, so it doesn't matter at all. Probably find this comes from on the ground somewhere. So there you go. That can go in there. Okay, let's go find some moss. Leave the tub there for now. So there's all sorts growing on these trees. Obviously don't damage any trees from wherever you are. But there's no harm in taking a little bit of moss off or a little bit of bark. So there's the moss there. Put that in our tub. And take a little bit of bark off. I'm surprised there's no woodlice under there. Put that in our tub. I'll get a few more little bits. Okay, so we're looking for plants still. There's a woodlouse there. He's lucky. There's more of them there, so plenty of them around. So these sort of things here, these little, I'm not sure what they are, but if we can get one of them out with a bit of root, we put one of them in there. Not sure what they are, but these native sort of weeds that you find generally will be alright. That'll be nice. That's not even opened yet, that one. We'll get that off. Add that to there. So that's probably enough, we don't want to overdo it. Okay, so we've got all of our stuff. We've got our little stones, our big stones, our soil layer, and our decomposing material and plant living layer. So the next thing is we're on the hunt for some insects. Now I'm specifically looking for ones that will eat the rotting matter and fertilise the soil for the plants. So we're looking for isopods, which is like woodlice and stuff. So just picked up that bit and I've seen a couple on there. So I've got to try and get them in these tubs. Best way is to kind of hold it over it and just flick them off. Okay, so there's a big pile of sticks and stuff here, so it's an ideal area to find bugs. And if you find them hard to catch, just try and get hold of whatever they're on. Aha. A millipede. So it's just a case of having a hunt around in your garden. Okay, so we're about done collecting insects. I've got millipedes in there, woodlice. I think I saw a centipede. Okay, so we've got all our stuff ready now. So I'm gonna make a start on this, but it's just started raining, so what I'll probably do is head back home and take you into the greenhouse, and there's a bit more light in there, and I'll show you a bit more closely what I'm doing. Okay, so now comes the fun part. We got to put all these things that we've collected into our container to create our terrarium. So make sure your container's got a nice sealable lid. I'll just angle you down a little bit more. So we're going to start with the big stones. Spider on there. We don't want spiders in there particularly. So there's our stones. So this is just mainly for a drainage layer on the bottom. So we'll just place these in here. I don't really want to tip them in there. So try and fill in all the gaps. A little shake to settle them in. Next is the medium and small size stones. So yeah, this will just fill in all the holes. So just try and fill in all the gaps to make sure it's all the soil is not going to fall straight through into the bottom of the stones. Some people will put a mesh over, plastic mesh or something just to stop the soil falling through, but it should be fine. Okay, so that's our drainage layer. Next is the soil layer of decomposing matter, and this will be the food for all the woodlice and millipedes, isopods. So we'll put that in there. I'm going to do a handful at a time and just spread it out and compact it down a little bit. Okay, we'll probably go for all of this. Okay, so we'll level it off, compact it down a bit, and then what I think is a good idea is to, if you choose which side you want in the front, the main viewing angle, is to then pile it up to the back a bit more, so it's like a hill. That way if anything's crawling around on it, you'll be able to view them easier. Okay, so we've got our soil layer and our drainage false bottom bedrock layer. So we've got all these different decorations here. Well, not decorations, I don't know why I'm calling them decorations. They do decorate it to make it look nice, but also they serve a purpose, feeding the insects and stuff. So we've just got to place things in here how you think it looks nice. So there's a nice piece of bark there with some moss on it. So we can put that down near the front so that the bugs have got something to crawl across. And what I'm going to do is plant this in between some of this moss, try and get its root in there. So we'll put that on one of the sides, and we'll try and poke it in so that it roots in. Okay, I think that looks pretty good there. And I've got another small weed plant. Anyone can ID these, let me know. We'll just dot them around. I'll poke a little hole for the root and we'll pop it in there. Okay, so we'll go for a few more things. We've got that ivy. Now with the ivy, it will root along wherever it touches the soil, so not very too much. We might just lay that along and put it underneath something. So kind of want that more or less in the middle, not quite. Don't try and make it all symmetrical. That's what I've learnt with trying to make things look natural, is don't line things up like soldiers and don't go for symmetry because it won't look right. It's meant to be natural. So we've got another little bit of moss here, put that at the back there, and a rotten bit of wood there, got things crawling around on it already, so we'll put that, I'll just put that across there. I'll put it the other way around so it looks a bit nicer. An odd bit of bark which fell off, pop that down there. This came off a tree, so this is a bit of bark. It might break that in half and put a bit at the back there. Another bit in the middle. Try and get it underneath that stick. And then I've got this larch cone. Hopefully it's not full of seeds because I don't really want them all growing in there, but if it is, then that's fine with me as well. I don't really mind. So I'll put that down the front there. And these acorn shells, just dot them around. And this rotten hazelnut that we found, see it's completely rotten, so that'll be ideal. So I can go in there.
Another large cone which has been eaten by something, so that'll go at the top end there, and a couple more little acorn things. And just place them there. And we've got this bit of stick here. It's got a really cool like little twist in it. So one thing I might do is snap it. That's already snapped there, so we'll snap it there, and then I'll just kind of place it in and stick it down, so that stuff kind of can crawl over it and grow up it. And this last bit here, I'm just going to poke in somewhere else. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. Looks pretty good to me. So let me know what you think. Next thing to do is to add our insects. Okay, so one of the, I've just put a centipede in there. I don't know if you can see it, it just fell out of my hand. Fell out of the tub when I opened the lid. I'll try and show you it before it disappears. There he is, making himself at home, and he will eat baby woodlice so they don't get out of control. So let's add a few more bugs. So I've got all the, what they were living in is all in here. Whatever ones we don't use I will release. And see that woodlice just went in there. And there is some millipedes in here, so we want to get a few millipedes in. If I can find them again. There's one. You can go in. It's another millipede. Okay, so I'll get the rest of these put in there. It's quite awkward to kind of fish them out. Okay, so there's all our bugs in there. I'm not sure what that is. That weird sort of wormy thing there. I think that might be a nematode. So Sophie doesn't kill everything, whatever it is. And there's a big old woodlouse there. I showed you the centipede. There's a few millipedes in here as well. A little woodlouse there. There's a centipede, I'm just about to see it. You see him under there? What was that? Right, that's a millipede. So they've got plenty of places to hide. They'll be inside there. And you can see from the front there, there's the centipede. There's another millipede. The woodlouse down there, making themselves at home. We've got the plants in there. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on it. Okay, so I've got the lid on and all the bugs are in there nice and happy. So we'll put this somewhere. I'm going to put it indoors, nice cool area where it doesn't get any direct sun, but it needs some light, so we'll put it on a north facing windowsill, or you can put an artificial light above it, an LED light or something. Anyway, I'll get back to you in a second, guys.